Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
How's
Morning,
everybody
Mr.
doing
Morgan.
tonight?
Pretty solid.
It's a good Father's Day.
That is.
POV, it's Father's Day and all Hectorum, you find out that JC has actually sent an assassin to kill your parents IRL.
Uh-oh. That's at my house, so that's awkward.
When the party last left off, they had gone on a little bit of an adventure through figuring out what it was to be Delmarev, and a lot of them got to see a little bit more of the side of, well, Delmarev daily life. Now that they've had that experience, they've gotten to wake up, prepare, get ready, and they have gathered up the supplies that they need to go out into the world.
Before we go, I have a couple things to ask of Pearlin in the meantime. Do you mind?
Would be
Hello?
fine by me.
Okay.
The storm rages on the outside of the keep.
Take all the time you need. Plus, we wait
you.
the storm out.
Alright. Alright. Lord makes his way to Pearlin's office and knocks on the door.
You knock on the door and there is no response. You check briefly and he is not present.
Alright. Where would he be? Lork returns to the rest of the party. Says, he's not in his office. Let's check to see if anyone in the mess hall knows where he is.
Alright.
Seems like a good idea.
And unless there are any objections, first, yep, thank you. And Lork makes his way over to the meth hall.
The meth.
I see.
You whispered so quietly.
Jesse. The metal, Jesse.
Stop.
Oh, yes,
I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And
As
presumably
you enter
seeing...
once more to the mess hall, they're having some rather effective breakfast distributions, of which you're able to eventually spot Pearlin amidst the crowd.
Alright. I'll go and join him.
He looks up
And,
as you approach and moves a little bit over.
Many thanks. I won't disrupt your breakfast, but I'd hoped to talk some business with you after.
He finishes eating a little bit of his bites, and then, well, so long as it's not particularly confidential, we might have it now, and if it is, where would you like to meet?
Perhaps in one of our respective offices for one bit of it, though the rest we can discuss here. I, as of yet, do not have a resolution for the matter of Executor Lay's ashes, though on that note, I would like to ask that, as myself and my group are making a rather dangerous expedition in the near future, that her ashes be retained in the meantime, so that if we do not return, my successor may be anointed with them.
He looks slightly troubled for just a moment, but reluctantly agrees before asking another question. Have you decided on a nominus yet?
That was one of the first things I took care of. I knew this expedition would be dangerous, and I have been feverishly at work preparing both for the expedition and preparing the censors for if something goes wrong.
He gives a gentle nod.
Alay's notes have been very helpful in streamlining the process. And at this point, Lord just silently continues with his breakfast.
He continues on doing some of the same before looking up and seeing that, well, there's 4 other members of the party are just kind of looming outside the mess hall and tries to gesture some of them over.
Are we? Was that for all of us, or was that with just some of us?
You all are allowed to eat here, as at least some of you are officially agents of the Order, and some of you might as well be,
Oh,
even if not officially.
Darius,
I,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go. He's just going to fumble over his words, like I don't know if
No, this was me saying Darius was going to raise his hand in like a sort of like a I understand kind of way, and then put his hand on Struenhoff's shoulder before he steps forward and say, I don't know if you're hungry, but I was hoping that I could at least personally go over all of the things that we were looking for in the city and review all of our information alongside potentially helping you with anything that you might need to make clear while everyone else handles their own business.
He turns, looks into the mess hall, and then turns back. It can wait. Alright. And I step back out from entering the mess hall.
I know you've overall said that you wanted me to keep mostly hands off when it comes to your dreams and having them, how they're arriving to you, but considering we're heading out to this area, I feel at this point it might be prudent we get all the information, all of the leads, everything we can from this.
Right, I see your point.
I also have someone else I need to discuss things with in that realm, either way, so two birds with one stone, as he sort of jokingly gestures towards Rifter.
I get it.
Oh shush! As he turns, oh shush with your eavesdropping. As he turns back to face Struenhoff. I really do mean it. If you're hungry, you can eat, because we will be taking some time.
I'll be alright.
Alright. He's going to look over to Lorik and kind of give him like a hand up and then like a nod, and then he's gonna point over in another direction and start moving.
Lork nods.
This will probably be easiest in our own quarters. Don't want either of us just passed out on the floor. I don't know how easy it is for you to fall asleep. I might be able to try and do something to help that, but I'm still not entirely used to this.
It depends on the time of day.
And here I was thinking that you'd be a nappy old man able to fall asleep whenever you wish.
I would say it's not like I'm getting any younger, but
Yeah.
things change.
You two can sit down, you know that? Lork says to Richter and Zeus.
And we head upstairs
Yeah.
to our room.
We
Rifter awkwardly
will,
takes his place.
we will do some of the... If the three of them have anything to say, they can go in and say it. Otherwise, we will switch over.
Not that I can think of, at least on this current scene.
Let 'em do
Probably
some
once
fun
we get to
RP
Perilyn's
first.
office. What's up?
I was gonna say let them do some fun RP first.
Yeah, if you guys have any cool stuff you want to say.
Grabs Lorik's ass. That's it. That's what I got.
Damn. The moment Darius is out of sight, you make your move, huh?
No, I ain't got nothing.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, we voted.
We vibe.
He's just gotta wake. He's just gotta wait for Darius to break up with Loris from the unsafe power dynamic.
True. I'll be the fallback guy. That's never not worked.
All right.
Well, checks out for me.
Oh, he's actually going to. Darius is going to actually kind of speed walk back over to the corner, and like kind of point at Rifter and say,
Rifter, I forgot. You're rather important for this.
And Rifter's going to run over.
okay, all right. The two birds, as he points at both of you. The one stone, as he points at himself. Let's go. Just to recap with you, we're getting a little bit more information from Strunhof streams, and then I want to try and make communication with the god that can help you with your weapon status.
Hell yeah.
All right. And we head back upstairs.
You are now upstairs.
All right. I already talked to Strunhof about it. Rifter, I'm not exactly sure how well you fall asleep on command. I assume probably not very well.
I could try.
What if you imagined yourself as asleep? That's the real question.
You know, I thought of that, and I don't think it's going to be necessary.
We'll see. So once everyone is in the room, he's going to close the door behind him and just hoping no executors go walking by right as we do this. That'd be a little inconvenient, but nonetheless. I guess right now it's just the issue of falling asleep. Lay down, get yourselves comfortable, or at least to a point where if you fall asleep, you're not going to be banging your head on the ground.
I would like to go to Sleeping Time Junction.
Well, shouldn't be too hard given the situation. Besides, you've got some nice white noise all around you.
Thanks.
Is Rifter the only one going to sleep, or is Schoenhoff joining as well?
He's gonna try, but what time of day is it?
Little bit mid-morning. Little
Yeah,
bit,
so
probably an hour or two after dawn, but you also do have the god of, dreams right next to you, so...
yeah, he'll try and fall back asleep, but seeing as that he just woke up, not gonna get his hopes up.
It's doable. Then, of course, the choice is simply for Darius to follow asleep as well.
Yep. As soon as he sees that they are in their own land, he's going to just instantly snap in through the veil and down the corridor to collect both of them.
He,
First, he jumps into Rifter's dream.
well, about that.
Quote unquote dream. Okay. I'll slow down.
As you do, and you sort of already attempting to have the idea of having the three of you be together, it actually starts off with you entering, and the two of them already being somewhat primed for it.
Oh my.
The three of you had intent, at least, to see each other, and as a result, some of it has manifested before you.
Seems like I'm getting better at this. Are you two fully cognizant yet, or you still need a moment?
DM, am I fully cognizant?
You are.
Yes.
After
Okay,
as you wake up, you feel much like the regular you, just somehow even more floaty than regular. In Schoonhof, for you, as has been increasingly regular, in your dreams, you're not just younger, but young.
How young are we talking?
Like 18-ish.
I
Dang.
see.
Wow, you look different. All right. So, overall, so far, Sternhoff, what has it been primarily that you've been getting fed from your dream? What is it that focus on the things that you've been whispered?
Gee, I'd love to, but I don't have that as a player.
Okay, here you go. So as you've gone through some of the recent dream sequences, there have been moments of infraction where different souls from different times have approached you and begin to not so much fill you with knowledge as much as fill you with affect. Much of it is the sort of thing where rather than learning how to ride a bike, you simply know how to ride a bike, and that's not satisfactory. That's not enough. You feel yourself getting younger, you see yourself getting younger, but the presence is eluding you, and so you're shifting some of the world around you. You're changing it from simply have this to learn this, and that's part of the troubles that you're having and part of the current attempts that you're starting to push for. One of the most noticeable moments for that is of a woman who seems to not have a face, with glowing blue hair that sort of trails like water, who comes from time to time and is one of the only people who attempts to actually communicate to you as opposed to simply gifting you with words.
Evan, control a click-clack.
Oh, sorry.
Spelunky 2 is too intense for us mortals.
What is she saying?
A lot of the things are more so, I guess I'll phrase it this way, a lot of the times when you're in this dreamscape, it's not like you're treated less than human, but many of the souls seem unwilling or unhappy to share the information and simply wish to get it transferred and done and over with. But she's someone who's actually willing to cultivate that relationship and talk to you and tell you about some of the parts of what is the essence of life that you are trying to shape, and how to recognize different forms of it and how to understand what it means to be alive, so that as you go through this process you do not find yourself a lost, stranded soul. To maintain your humanity as you do.
I see. So people have came and gone trying to do this then.
There's a gentle nod, and the rain from her hair continues to flow down. Leaving a few drip drops on the floor below.
Who are you?
A question that's been asked to her many times, and one that, despite asking probably, not necessarily every time, but at least a few times, one that continues to remain unanswered.
You cannot answer your name. Can you answer what happened to you?
Much like many others, I felt like there was more to life than, well, what people said life would be. And while many others felt tempted to sprint after it, I was more methodical, more cautious, more concerned with the effects, and even after my passing, I still hold those same beliefs. I myself was far too slow and hoped to give others, at least others who might deserve it, a chance to do what I could not.
Do you believe I'm deserving?
It feels that way. Do you not?
Not sure how to answer that, but I appreciate the help.
There's a gentle smile from, well, just a simple smile. Would Darius have attempted to peer in now that he is here to understand much of that? Is he attempting to get some of the data logs on what sort of dreams Schoenhoff has had?
Yes, he's kind of observing and trying to generally make things more clear, make them less dreamlike and more memory-like for Sternhoff, make them like get the information of what happened, try and make it more tangible for him. Because you know how dreams are.
Yes, of course. More of the dreams proceeded, with more people acting borderline callous to the situation, but nonetheless being obliged by the state of the wish to provide the information that they have. Eventually, there's another one who is neither callous nor friendly, one where it simply exists as this, what at first is a glowing bead of yellow light, but eventually takes the shape of a lantern, a good 200 feet away in the midst of a sea of simple black expanse that eventually forms way to a small stone-ridden dockyard with a definitive pier at the end on which this lantern sits.
In that case, I'll approach the end of the pier.
You walk the path down, and for a little bit it feels like it's getting farther away, but as you push on, you find yourself at the end quite the opposite, much faster than you had anticipated. Turn around to look at the distance you've traveled, and instead you're simply on a small outcropping of almost an island made out of stone. Processed stone, sitting with waves gently breaking on all sides, and that singular lamppost in the center. Its warmth draws you in, unlike all of the black and purple waves and atmosphere around are cold and unforgiving, but the warmth of the lantern is one that is a welcome respite in the area.
Am I alone here?
You are.
I'm gonna stare into the water.
Moving over to the pier's edge, and you look down into the water. As the ripples move and slowly crash upon the pier, the slight bits of foam that spark out have this almost bright blue as they do before falling back into the nearby water. The parts that aren't rolling so vigorously are much more still and much almost a perfect reflection of a mirror that allows you to see back at yourself, giving you a good clear look at your young face. It takes a moment to process that you're actually looking at your reflection and not another person.
Can I see anything beyond the water?
Well, that's up to Darius.
I mean, he's kind of just letting the dreamscape and the information be shaped by the wish and trying to not interfere as much as possible with whatever
Then there would
whatever
not
the
be
wish
no.
shaped.
The water simply continues on forever.
If anything, at this moment while Darius is watching, he would make the water reflect the lantern, like an image of the lantern.
Take a look at the lantern then.
You go closer, you start to look at it, you reach up at it, trying to move it a little bit, see how it angles, and as it's touched, you're able to start feeling and hearing a little bit clearer the gentle heartbeat within it.
Is this a lantern I can like open up?
It is.
I will slowly open it then.
As you do, you look inside, you turn your head to either side and see that you're much more in the lantern at this point. It's golden red hue taking over all of the nearby walls, and in the very center, a very small heart ever beating with just its gentle red glow. Something warm and something to be treasured and protected.
To lightly touch the heart.
As you do, you feel, I won't say caressed, but you feel secure, you feel safe. You yourself feel like you are protected.
Can I meditate on the heart while holding it?
You may. Over time, as you focus on it and you make it the core intensity of your, well, will, you start to feel this borderline unexplainable link. Practically, the heart is you.
I see.
As your heart beats, its heart beats. As your mood focuses, its beats focuses. You don't feel any hollower for it, but you do feel like you're leaving a little piece of you behind.
Well, that's okay. I should be able to come back and get it.
That's right. And as you look out from the lantern and the parts that aren't filled with that scarlet glow, through the windows of it, on the endless sea, you start to see a little bit of a sunrise, which blinds you for a moment, or you find yourself here in this empty expanse with Darius and Rifter once again.
Do you believe that helped?
It was a bit different than my other dreams, I'll say that much.
Well, hopefully it helped you glean something. Something that'll assist you in whatever it is that you end up needing to do.
Right.
Is there anything else that you think I can help you with? Anything, any other dreams, recollections, feelings that you haven't quite been able to place? Dreams that you can't quite remember?
No. But if I need to, I'll ask.
Alright. Don't be afraid to approach me in the future when you have more dreams like this. I can at least try to be more involved. Of course, whenever you're asleep, I tend to be asleep, and I also tend to watch over all of you. Well, if you have permission, I will try and be a little bit more involved in your own.
I see no problem with it.
Alright. Then that will bring us to Rifter. You
Oh,
have the fang claw, I assume, and the scale, I assume.
Rifter checks his person, and presuming that the Dream Realm works the way that I think it does, he would have them.
Alright. Just wanted to make sure that you believed you had them. That's the most important part. At least I think so.
Oh, aye.
Then, let's see if I can't find that place again. And he's going to try and move to the regal area, the god streams.
Ooh.
Are you bringing everyone along with you?
Yes.
Alright.
Rifter, or I mean, Darius can't exactly take the fang from Rifter, so Rifter for sure needs to come.
Alright. You each find yourself in the midst of a series of marble and other light stone works. Some a little darker, some with bits of purple thrown in, some trimmed in gold, and one, particularly noticeable today, with a deep fire that burns within it, giving an orange glow out onto the nearby darkness.
I guess I took it for granted that gods would dream.
Now, I wasn't able to bring Zeus with me when I was trying to communicate with him, but I am going to likely have to go in alone to start out with, and once I get a grip on the situation a bit better, I will try and bring you in as well.
Yeah, it's like a court summons or something.
Something like that. Strunhoff, you're welcome to come with us if you'd like. You can also observe anything around here. Don't try and enter any of the realms. You don't know what you'll provoke if you do, and be careful with what you observe. But, if there's anything in particular, any person that you'd think would be asleep now that you'd like to see, anything that you'd like to do, you're more than welcome to.
Let's just get this show on the road. I think he needs a moment to adjust.
Alright. Then, I will see you in a little bit. And he's going to try and find, I assume the one with the noticeable one was the Forge God?
Yes.
Okay. Wanted to verify that that wasn't Lathander because it's morning. And he's going to, make his way up to it and try and go through the portal.
You step through quite simply. The world around you is still surprisingly much darker than you would have expected, with instead only this deep red and orange pushing out from the center, which seems to illuminate the entire area.
He's going to take a few steps in and sort of knock on the air a little bit to make like a knocking noise.
You begin to hear actual genuine knocking. It's like a toll bell, each rhythmically clanging on steel in the distance. You attempt to tune yourself to a little bit, and you see that in one direction there is a much brighter yellow that pushes out past the red.
He's going to make his way over there.
As you follow, the clangs grow louder and more focused, and the golden more pronounced, until eventually you climb closer and closer to seeing more than the Forge God in front of you. And each step you take closer to him at this point simply results in him looking ever taller, never seeming to get close enough. He takes a deep breath in, closes his eyes for a moment. Well, that's a welcome change. And strikes the anvil at his feet again as a bell toll rings through his realm.
Darius is going to smile and say, well, that is a sentiment that the two of us share. Certainly. I am Darius, and as I presume you know, I am the new God of Dreams.
Congratulations.
I appreciate your sentiments of congratulation. I came here as a recommendation, actually. One of the mortal smiths on my plane said that he believed, at least, you would be the only one fit for a job I have.
He continues the work he does without saying a word, but you do not feel like you have been ignored.
Mm-hmm. Might I have the permission to bring a mortal here who has the work for you?
Ah, you are young then. He pops his neck. It is not by my choice if they do or don't. The simple act of being in a realm like this puts strains on the mortal body. If they are to come here from yours, you must provide them safe passage.
Then that I shall do. Nonetheless, I still find it would be nice to gain your own permission.
Then you have.
And he is going to focus and try very, very hard to make sure that Rifter has as much protection as possible from getting damaged by this realm.
Rifter,
And-
after a little bit of time, begins to almost melt from the ground upwards. In Rifter, you feel rather hot. Not scorching, not like you're on fire, but very uncomfortably hot. The flame
it's
of
toasty.
the flame of his beard feels like it would be brighter than even the sun, and he takes a few strands off it and puts it down on top of the weapon he's forging as it reheats.
Oh, that's cool. Rifter, he like, what's the term? He wipes his hand across his brow, for the sweating. He's like, oh dearie. Okay, let's get this over and done with.
Darius is going to put his hand on Rifter's shoulder and say to him, like just directly to him. I understand it's uncomfortable here. Rifter, you are in a sea of glaciers. You are under the coldest depths of the deepest ocean. Keep that in mind.
Right. Figures.
It becomes more bearable.
All right.
Now it is simply a hot day.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's fine. I'm new to this, you're new to this. Some mistakes are expected.
Another clang of a gong rolls through the entire realm as his hammer strikes once more.
But when I first met you, you seemed rather relieved that Dendar was no longer the one presiding over dreams.
Right.
And I believe you will be quite satisfied to see the work we have for you. Rifter, as he sort of like gestures him forward.
Rifter nods and he presents the scale of Nidhogg.
It feels like as you take a few steps forward to attempt to give it to him, he instead just simply gets bigger and farther away, and he sets down the weapon that he's working on, continuing to hold his hammer. And it's very bizarre seeing his hand look like it extends hundreds of feet to attempt to take it from you, and his hand is not too much bigger than you are, as he then gently plucks it and brings it up, and it seems to grow and grow and grow to such comical proportions that it might be bigger than Dendar was.
Rifter at this point like goes very wide, and he actually does a very humble bow and backs off as he suddenly begins to realize the enormity the thing is that he's interacting with. I look to see if Darius is going to explain or if I must.
Darius is just waiting for a response from him. As he looks at it. Like Darius is being patient.
Okay, I'm following his lead. If he ain't freaking out, I'm cool.
Morden ends up taking it, holding it, looking around a little bit, tapping it very gently with his hammer as it slightly deforms, turning it a little bit more, looking at a few different things and saying, "A gift for taking him down. What would you like?" And he sets it on the anvil.
I thank you greatly for your generosity. Rifter, what is it that you'd like? Normally you default to daggers, but I don't want to speak over you if you want a special or a more unique type of weapon, considering this might be the only opportunity you'll get to get truly what you want from it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Usually, I like a nice, quick blade. Shorter blades are better for coarse quarters, but I think a short sword would make this a more unique weapon that could be wielded by multiple users. In other words, I want it to be possible for those of the more brawny type to also be able to wield this thing. Well, if you would please, I would like a blade, a short sword that has the potential to slay gods. And at that last line, he looks at Darius like, "Am I doing this right? Like, is this good to say?"
You see as some of the tendrils of his beard around his mouth shift a little bit at the end. At first you feel like, oh no, I've offended him, but after a moment you realize that that's a bit of a smile. You are kind and wise to think of others, something most have not done in a situation like this. So be it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
He turns to Darius. And for you, a gift of ascension?
I didn't expect much. Not that I didn't expect to. I didn't come in here with the expectation to gain anything, but if you do have a gift, he is going to pull out his lance and say, "This has been with me throughout all of my journey of ascension, and I would be honored if you could turn this into something truly worthy of a newborn god."
He reaches down, and this time it's has much less of a sense of comedic scale, instead simply as if he's reaching forward to another individual, and simply takes it, brings it to him, stabs it into the anvil, and says, "By next morning's rise, you each will have it."
Thank you greatly.
Rifter nods his head and once again, thank you so much, sir. I am truly in your debt.
If I might ask you one more thing.
He looks at you.
The Forge Master, the blacksmith that pointed you towards us. Can I get his name out of character? Darius would 100%
I believe it
know
was Thilcom, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe it was Thilcom.
Yeah, Thilcom.
I personally, as a favor, would appreciate it deeply if you would impart upon him some epiphany, eureka, something that truly is worthy of the gift he has given us by directing us towards you.
Oh, that is a very, very welcome change, Darius. I don't believe the other gods would have too different an opinion. And he simply shakes his head a single time, yes.
Thank you. The bar wasn't set very high, but I'm still glad to pass it.
Nonsense.
I believe then we will cease our intrusion upon you, allow you to return to your work.
He nods his head and plucks another hair from his beard and wraps it around your lance in a spiral. And at first it seems like the hair is not going to be long enough, but then it just keeps going until the entire thing is wrapped and sat upon the anvil, and the gongs begin anew.
Alright then, Rifter. And he is going to bring Rifter and him back to the light marble area.
What has Stroonhoff gotten up to?
Am I in the dream sequence?
Before Darius went to the forge, you might have been AFK during it. He said that Stroonhoff has free reign to go wherever he might wish, either in the area of the gods, but he said be careful in the area of the gods, or to potentially visit someone you have not had an opportunity to that might be sleeping now. He basically gave you the ability to access the dreams as if you were Darius for the period of time he was gone.
Probably the only person he would visit is Cassandra.
As you think of that and reopen your eyes, you see in front of you the cresting of a portal twisted with reds and flesh and muscle, which forms this rather large semicircle that then juts into the water and begins to expand underneath it for a brief period. And through it, unlike some of the other portals that you've seen either in that deification hall or in the few other parts of the dream sequence that you've explored, it is not black on the other side. It is simply empty. There is nothing present. With it brings a sense of unease.
I guess I'll enter through the portal then.
You step through and you simply find yourself on the other side of the portal, looking back at the same archway.
I see.
You start to feel almost a little bit nauseous, and it starts to threaten to wake you up. Would you mind making me a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah, let me pull up my saving throw.
But you manage to push back and hold on to your consciousness in here.
I guess I'll try entering through the portal again.
A similar story happens once again. With it, some sort of... perhaps it's a failsafe or simply a failing, but you begin to wake up in the actual world, continuing to feel exceptionally nauseous. Luckily for you, is a Damarev nearby who, if you're feeling it, you could ask for assistance, or you could simply tough it out.
I can tough it out.
Ooh, brave man. Alright. Rifter and Darius have re-entered the deification hall.
So,
Oh god.
Darius is just gonna kind of raise an eyebrow at Rifter. How did it feel to face down a god?
It feels very intimidating, but goddamn, am I glad we did it. It's finally gonna happen. I'm gonna get my killing blade.
I got a nice surprise myself. And I'm glad that our friend back at home is also going to get something nice.
Oh, he's done me a number of solids. Glad he's finally gonna get something back.
He deserves it.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, I'm going to go find Strunhoff. I'll be back in a minute. If you'd like to wake up, you can. Unless there's anything else you'd like to do. This might be an opportunity for you to, maybe get a little bit of a conversation with, as he kind of gestures towards where, like his hands, wherever the fang might be. Just kind of gestures towards Rifter in general.
Ah.
Might
That
not
be considered rude.
I mean, it might be. I'm not sure. You are closer to them, so you would be the one to know the answer to that, not me.
I don't think it's the best idea.
All right then. Then if you'd like to wake up, you can. If there's anything else you'd like to do, you're welcome to. I'm going to find Strunhoff, and then I'll be up shortly.
Well, while I got the chance, let me just check something. I know it's in the middle of the day, maybe. Rifter would like to check to see if any of the reclaimers are sleeping.
It's actually not the middle
Like
of the day.
the
It's
old
just
gang?
slightly after
Yeah.
dawn.
All of them have simply pitch black portals.
I see.
Not
In
with
that case,
not nothing on the other side, simply black.
then when Rifter sees that, he's like, yeah, that figures. Alright, well, then I'm out. And however he dissipates from the dream realm, he will do that to wake up.
Probably melts in the water and rejoins with the rest of the water at the floor.
Yeah.
Feeling out for Strunhoff, would he notice Strunhoff is awake?
Yes.
Alright, then Darius would wake himself up.
And with that, his realm is once again empty.
Well, I'd say that went rather well. Do you two remember much from it, as I hoped you would?
I think so, yeah.
Rifter, Darius, would the two of you mind making me an insight check?
Uh-oh.
Strunhoff, would you mind making another con save?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm fine. I'm even better than last time.
Yeah.
19.
Even though he's feeling pretty bad, at least nothing super bad's happening, and neither of you are able to notice it. He just looks like normal, grumpy Strunhoff.
Alright.
Grumpy.
Grumpy?
I assume feeling sick doesn't do wonders for your mood.
Can confirm.
I disagree. I'm sure it does great things for his mood.
Well then, if we've got nothing else to do, we should reconvene. Hopefully Lorik is finished with breakfast and speaking with Carolyn.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
And Pan.
Scene shift to Paralon's office? Or Lorik's office, even.
That's what I was gonna say. I figured Dork's office was better.
Alright.
He did call for Parolin directly, so that would be
On the other side of the table, you wait until Parolin knocks on the door and shortly after enters.
Oh, again. This is a personal request I'd hoped to make just for the sake of having peace of mind. I was hoping that whilst me and the others are on our journey to Sharan Kadian, you might be able to look into into the what happened after the last record here, and Lork hands him the dossier on Rogar. I back around the time of the incident where he was exiled from the Order, I had assumed that it was just something I did that led to him being exiled, but looking back with a few years more experience, it feels like an incomplete answer, and I was hoping that as the Executor Auspicia, you might have some further insights.
He's thinking it over very carefully to choose his words. Of course, the censor of all people would deserve to know.
Well, thank you, but if you do or don't have the information yet, shouldn't. We should save it for after I get back from the expedition. I don't want to be distracted while heading there, of all places, if it's... He lets
I would
the
hope,
words hang.
else I give an incomplete answer.
Right. And thank you.
Do you believe you have taken all of the precautions you might need?
I have made provisions for a new nominus. I have informed the other censors of the assignment regarding researching divinity. I have made provisions for people to contact me at most times of the day, either with sending or sending materials directly.
And what of yourself?
Well, I made sure that we would have useful spell scrolls for the journey itself. We have provisions for the journey. And aside from that, we have our various tools and our skills to help us along.
He gives a slight smile and laughs for a moment. Oh,
There's so little information about the place,
yeah.
we can't prepare for what we don't know about, but we can
No,
prepare in general.
trust, I do not make fun of you, Lork. It's just... I know how I might act, and despite that, I think you're rather good. And I'd also not like to have to go through this process of learning a new executor again anytime soon. So try to keep your head on.
Aye. With any luck, I'll be back within a few weeks. Thank you for all your help, Pearlin. Thank you for being an ally for us when we had none, and for helping us get to this point.
He puts his hand on your shoulder across from the desk. It is what's right. And makes his
Aye.
way out. Pardon.
Lork stands from his desk and... Oh, what the fuck was that? Never mind. And makes his way out of the room. Right, let's gather the others.
Zeus and the orc have a few moments alone as they go up to the... Actually, wait, where would you go? Did they tell you where they were? Oh, it wouldn't be too hard to guess, actually.
Yeah, checking the room first to see if they're there. If not, checking the library, so on
You
and so
peek
forth.
in and you see all three of them asleep, and you have a few moments to each other.
So did all seem to work out? I was waiting in the hallway.
I was just satisfying personal curiosity. Let's just say that.
Fair. Fair.
I'll have my answer when we get back.
Always
And
sucks
so-
when you can't just have the answer right away, you know? It's like,
No. In this case, I'm glad to know that there will be an answer, but I don't have to deal with the answer right now.
would have got you.
Schoenhoff begins to stir.
Stirring my coffee.
So true. Strunhoff, is everyone alright?
So, am I alright?
What do you mean? Are you all right? That's a question that you answered.
You and Rifter are still asleep.
Oh, we are. Okay. Right.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna wake up in like a minute. If you want to interject after a minute.
Oh my god, what did Darius do to him? He doesn't even know if he's alright.
It's just strange being awake before both of them.
What?
I
what
assume
went
they're on. I assume they're on some errand in the realm of dreams.
So,
I'll wait
What?
for them, and we can decide what to do from there. Mark's just leaning against the wall.
I mean, do you want to spill all the details, all the nitty gritty of what went down? Or...
Regarding
Richter awakes.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Good to see you again, Richter.
Good to see you. Things turned out exactly as they were supposed to.
Aye, and I suppose the same on my end.
Yeah. Wow. We're just so good at our jobs. Oi. Oi, you! And Rifter's pointing to Zeus.
Yes? How did...
How's the food?
Oh, I mean, it was good. It was pleasant, pretty... There's a lot of there's a lot... Actually, what was the food?
That's up to the Dalmarov to decide.
I will not
It
make
was
this
something.
judgment call.
It was something that would be appropriate given the exceptional amount of humidity, as it has been storming for about 4 days here.
The food was really wet and humid. Wasn't my cup of tea, but it was. I mean, it's one of those things where like you could tell it was prepared well, but it's just not your style. You know what I'm talking about, Rifter?
Rifter nods.
Honestly, given the storm stuff, I imagine it would be one of those stews. Because usually, for me personally, when it's like really rainy out, I absolutely love having a nice stew.
Stew it
Of the
is.
sort.
Zeus came in as a snowman, and then they brought out the chicken and soup, and he melted away into a little boy.
What?
That's true.
It's an old ad.
Into what?
An old boy.
became
A little
Why would
boy.
he do that into a little boy?
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
gonna
I don't know,
kill
man.
myself.
Has a little wacko
I'll
mode.
kill
you know
myself
what I mean?
then. Watch and learn.
Watch this awesome move. Kill self.
So, Rifter, did you? What happened? What went down? What was the skinny? Did you steal anything from the dream realm?
I mean, I can't imagine I could bring it out into the material plane, but long story short, I have commissioned a blade that can kill gods by the very generous benefactor that we were recommended.
Ah, excellent.
He's talking, and Darius, still laying down in bed, without sitting up. His eyes are open. He's talking about the Forge God.
Ah, very fun, very fun. Is this a new friend, or are we neutral with them?
And he sits up. I'd say that the way that went, definitely a friend.
Excellent. Growing our sphere of influence. Soon we shall take over the world. Excellent.
I mean, the sudden difference between, the one before me and me is rather jarring, and I would assume a good change of pace for most.
Is it? I mean, I'd imagine most people would be like, this guy is who we get. I thought we'd get somebody better.
I mean, would you rather somebody chomping at the bit to kill you? Not. Never mind. There's not much of a difference for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, out of the two options, which one is you? But you
Yeah,
gave up on your joke early.
Yeah, no, I understood exactly where that was going. I was not going to give you the satisfaction.
Fair enough.
Sad.
See, the difference between you and me is that I'm smarter.
Wow,
I think you put
rude.
that the wrong way. I mean, Rifter, look,
All right, the difference between me and you is that I'm smarter.
he gets one little ounce of power. Look at this guy.
I know, he's unstoppable. He needs to be stopped. If only we had some sort of god-slaying blade. Oh, wait!
Oh,
Zeus
Rip
gave
that.
up his wish for this?
Oh, so true.
Well,
Zeus
What's
helps Darius actually not fail ascending to godhood. Darius, ayo, fuck this guy.
I don't know who this guy is, but I want him and his family dead.
But we got quite a bit done.
excellent.
Who did you end up going to see, by the way? If anyone, I don't know what you did.
One is white, dead. It's white, dead. It's white. One is white, dead.
Jesus.
Wait, who is that directed at? For the
Everyone.
Who'd you go see? Oh, everyone.
No, he was directing it towards Struenhof, looking at Struenhof.
Gotcha.
Repeat the question.
Who did you end up going to see?
Well, I tried going to see Cassandra, but nothing came of that.
Oh, yes, I should have warned you. I also had tried that in the past. It's what initially made me worried. I still do want to visit her and make sure that she's all right.
Right, you
Have
should.
any idea why? Why it's
We
like
shouldn't-
that?
I don't have any ideas. I have maybe some speculation, but I don't want to voice anything or be alarmist at all until we identify what's happened.
We have some free time. Since it's early in the morning and the storm doesn't look like it's going anywhere for the time being, we should pack.
All right, if you would like to. By next morning, I also want to warn you, Lorik. I am unarmed until next morning.
All right then.
So if something happens, we are leaving. We are not staying.
Well, just in case. Here, you can have this. Lork hands Darius one of the hand axes that he was shopping with. It's not much, but it's better than having nothing.
Better than my fists, for sure. All right. I guess we'll head off then. This is, I'm worried,
I know.
Let's close the door, put up the
Right.
do not disturb sign or something, make sure nothing comes in here, nothing
Right.
happens.
Is this?
Thanks.
Zeus just makes that sound while closing the door. He doesn't make
That
that
was-
sound.
You know, I actually appreciate that. It added to the immersion. Thank you.
I just thought it would be fun, you know? I feel like, when was the last time you heard a door squeak? I don't know.
Midway through him saying that, he would have already broken the bone as he nods and goes,
Absolutely.
So who's all hopping over?
I would assume everyone for now.
I'm
Yeah.
hopping. Hell yeah.
I love hopping.
OMG, us going into an unknown area right as two people have become less armed. Great idea.
Rifter's still on his
Wait, what do you
baseline.
mean? Wait, you broke the bone? Isn't that Cassandra?
Yeah, it's still an unknown area. At least I think so.
There are still. I still can't fast travel there. There are enemies nearby. Okay.
Hmm.
Look, worst case scenario, I think I can bring us all back out, maybe.
Listen, Darius is nervous. Not nervous, anxious. That's a better word.
Hold on a minute.
Hawkeye.
Woggy woggy.
Woggy woggy doodle all the day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah.
So true.
So true.
Too true, bestie.
Yo, they should have never installed a soundboard on Discord. They gave
Oh,
way too
for
much power.
Mm-hmm.
You can disable it on your server.
Oh,
So
wait, don't say that. No.
No. Lothar knows fully well that you can because we were crying about it happening on a server that we were spamming the.
Gotcha.
Wait, don't bring me into this.
You were doing it too.
I wasn't spamming, I was applying it tactically.
Airstrikes.
So true.
Hold on, I'm working on it. Goober.
That's so good.
First I was like, what got plugged in? And I was like, wait, I'm on a Mac. It actually got me.
Yeah, this is. I really like this one. It's like the right volume too.
Mm-hmm. So what are we waiting for again?
Me.
Goober.
He's just getting stuff ready. I'm not worried about it.
I forgot that I relabeled it.
The table
As
kind of
you-
looks like.
Go ahead.
You know, it was a meme. Go.
Okay. As you enter through and the mouth opens up beneath you as the bone breaks, it's a little slower than usual. And as it makes its way and it begins to gurgitate you through, you make your way. And it's a little more icky because as opposed to being over in a second or two, it takes about 20 or so seconds. By the
hate
time
that.
each of you begin getting popped out in the specific order, given where y'all were, right to left, begin getting popped out. Darius, you're the first to see that as you look around. Not too many of the other beasties being around, and the table next to you being spilled over on its side with Cassandra on the opposite wall. She is
Darius is-
currently crouched down with her legs splayed out in front of her, and she's resting on the wall.
Darius is going to make his way over, not running over, but rapidly, briskly walking.
She is breathing intensely.
Sandra, you're right. What's going on?
She looks at you and moves to speak, but makes no words.
Is there anything we can do to help you? Can you try and...
She shakes her head no and just focuses with her other hand at her abdomen.
He's going to look. Is there anything...
She eventually, after watching you look, moves her hand, and it's very evidently a wound. And it is a wound that, rather than simply being ichor and blood, it's just an area where her body does not exist.
Ah, damn. Did this happen because of us?
She just takes a breath and just holds it there. Puts her hand back on. And just looks up at you, and with her eyes melting a little bit to be much softer than the rest of her porcelain face for just a moment. And just a very slight no. It doesn't feel sincere, but it feels like at least that's what she's saying.
We know what he did with it.
With her other hand, she's reaching over to you and like almost clamoring at the side of your pack.
He's going to kind of get down and try and work with her to see what she's trying to do.
She reaches in and finds some of the papers in it and
Okay.
starts trying to write a little bit, but she's struggling. Go ahead, Zeus.
As soon as Zeus kind of came through and saw what happened, he immediately rushed over. And in every kind of little interjection is trying to, like, as quickly as possible, help communication and things like that. Not trying to speak over anything or cause more of a commotion than what is needed, but also very stressed and obviously surprised, taken aback by the situation.
What's Rifta doing?
That is a good question.
Mm-hmm. Evan, you might be muted.
I was.
Ah,
I did in fact say something, but I was muted. I'm just gonna move over and I guess be as sympathetic and help as much as possible.
She eventually manages to start writing with some of the paper, but it's not very productive given the squishy ground.
Darius is going to explicitly like get out a couple layers of like books and journals and put them onto the ground to make them a better
Here.
surface.
Lork sets his shield down on the ground as a writing surface.
She's able to start writing rather effectively. It's fairly haphazard, but eventually the words start forming on the paper. Not your fight, not your fault. I'm still fighting.
Is there anything we can do to help?
She takes another deep breath and shakes her head no.
I know you've got a lot of barriers set up and you're trying to keep yourself as safe as possible, but is there any god I could take you to, anything that I could do to make this not... I have reach now. It's no use if I don't use it. How can I help you?
She starts trying to write something, but instead just with her other hand, just kind of grabs out at you and puts her hand around your shoulder and the back of your neck. Before retreating back, focusing on it and taking a few more breaths.
Were you the only one hurt?
Oh,
Sorry, I thought you were done with the.
as
the communication.
you think about it a little bit more, and the knowledge that you have, having shared the same memories with her at this point, you know that if she goes anywhere else, she's dead, like, a hell of a lot faster than this.
Yeah, instantly.
She cannot exist anywhere else.
And I probably couldn't bring anything here
No, probably
that would
not.
help. Yeah.
Writes down. Not, she like double underlines again. I'm still fighting, and then writes another thing. Not done yet.
All right. Were you the only one hurt by this? Are your children all right?
Her face starts to break a little bit, which gives about all of the answer that you need.
He's gonna nod a couple of times. We're on double time, boys.
Can you tell us anything about the powers that were used? Anything we can look out for?
Finger from her right hand across her lips, and just a in reach, then holds her hand out to Zeus.
He kind of takes her hand.
She brings you a little closer, and with the faintest of whispers, I'm sorry. Did that go through?
Yes.
Okay.
Video isn't on, obviously, but I scrumpled up my face and shook my head. I'm like, this, goddamn. Zeus can't catch a damn break. Zeus is his slight kind of tear wells up in his eye, and it's just, don't. We're going to keep our promise to you.
She shakes her head yes, and gives a slight smile. Puts continuing writing. Been weeks. I won't give up. Get him.
Trust me. He made a mistake in the
He's
way
made
that
several.
Darius is going to kind of remember something, breathe a minute, calm himself down, and look at Cassandra and say, I spoke with him, you know. Not in Drummaki. He's doing well.
At that, rather than just flinching and cringing that she had previously, she just looks down at where her belly is being held in with her other hand and just actually starts to cry.
Now I need you, and I know you're not going to give up, but I need you to fight with every ounce that you have, because when he comes out, he's going to be ready to see you.
She looks at you, tears of blood dripping from her eyes, and shakes her head.
All right, all of you, we are finishing up. We are doing what we need to do to prepare.
Right.
After the city, I'm going to take every avenue I can to acquire as much individual power, as much connections for each of you as you might need. Lorik, I'm going to use my connection to try and get you deeper with the spirits of the Highborn Pantheon. Yes. Strunhoff, I'm going to be monitoring your dreams very closely. We are going to get to the bottom of this, and we are going to make it happen quickly.
Understood.
Rifter, I know it's going to be risky, but I'm going to try and get better and get in better contact with death, and I'm going to try and bring you and see what we can't do to do something. Zeus, whatever the hell you want me to do to help you, I'm here. We're going to do something.
Thank you. I'll find something as quickly as possible.
And I'm going to be focusing on trying to make myself much less mortal in the meantime.
As you finish your rousing speech, she pushes the paper into your hands, onto your chest, which then correspondingly into your hands.
Mm-hmm. He takes it.
One last set of words has been added. You're a lot like him.
That is a compliment far greater than I deserve. But thank you. All right. I have faith in you. I know that you'll hold on. But if not for you, then for me. For my own sake, my own mental, I'm going to tell you to hang on. Let's go. We don't have time to waste. As he looks at the rest of them, and he's going to make his way and start getting ready to leave.
She waves her finger and her mouth opens up again at the bottom. Shrugs a little bit for you as she remembers that you said you didn't like doing it, but it's the best she can do. And as you look around at the other parts of the realm, in particular as the rolling red fog of clouds above that normally move by at a fairly brisk pace, instead start to move slower and slower, and everything around starts to move a little bit slower and slower. She gives a thumbs up, and pretty soon the only part of this realm that is moving at any semblance of a reasonable pace is the each of you and the worm out.
Let's get back then.
All right. As he makes his way over and takes the worm out, using his memory as Cassandra to hasten the process.
Right.
Does the party end up back where they were?
I would say that he would make the party end up back where they were because they were missing things. Like they left things in the room. So
Gotcha.
if we brought everything, he would have just straight up brought them to the city, or tried to bring them to the city.
You thought that because it was Father's Day, it would be a dad? Gotcha, it's Mother's Day Part 2.
She's not the stepmom, she's the mom who stepped up. That's all I'm saying, boys.
So true.
I like that. Alright, we're grabbing a thing. I can maybe try and get us where we're going next faster. Try and
Right.
use my abilities best I can.
Or we do have the means of traveling there at very nice speeds, even despite the storm, thanks to Struenhof.
Indeed. At its core, what we need to do is, I don't know, just find out a way to, we're already powerful. We're gaining power rapidly, but it needs to be
Right.
faster.
On that note, Darius, if your intention regarding the Pantheon is what I think, then perhaps given that they used to be via Nuri, or still are in a sense, they might sleep at similar times as the rest of my kind. So we might be able to catch them in the realm of dreams directly.
Indeed. Almost
We can do
every
that
deity,
tonight.
almost every thing, every creature, every god, every something is connected to the realm of dreams somehow. As much as I'm not trying to brag or whatever about it, dreams are rather
Dreams are the one
primordial.
constant.
Not one. There's many constants, but it is connected to almost everything, unless something has explicitly cut itself off from everything else. But yes, we will get in touch.
Aye. Let's get going. Let's call our griffins, and let's get on the road.
I think it's worth
Yes.
trying Zeus's power. It'll be faster.
All right.
We should make sure
Still
everything's
call the
ready.
griffins, though.
Indeed. I can summon the griffin, at least my griffin, wherever we end up going. So,
As can I.
alright, then I think we're good to just go. Does everyone have everything in this room already prepared? I'm
good.
sorry to intercept things that you're trying to say or do, Lorik. I'm just...
Not at all.
I want to make sure we're moving as fast as possible.
I understand. As a note, for this day, Lork would have swapped Vanishing Smite out for Find Greater Speed. I just didn't mark it on the actual character sheet.
Okay.
Alright then, Zeus. I have faith that you won't bring us to, I don't know, hell. Let's go.
All right.
Well,
Uh,
D20,
I-
D100.
okay.
Sorry. Go ahead and roleplay it. Sorry. My bad. I
No,
rushed.
all good. I was going to ask, has Zeus been to the city that they're going to before?
No.
No. Okay, I didn't think so. I believed it was a
Not
different
many
city.
people who are living have.
Got you. Sorry, I got it.
Alright, roll me your D100. Okay, give me just a second.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that's gonna happen?
Us going straight to Andromache.
Is that the worst that could happen? Well,
It's
take
really
them
not
now.
the worst that could happen.
The prompt pops up. Are you sure? Parentheses. This is a point of no return.
True.
I'll choke them out right now. Bare fist.
It's okay. I've been stacking my charisma and persuasion modifiers. I'm gonna have a high enough persuasion skill to pass the persuasion check and get this all ended without bloodshed.
Can everyone roll me a perception real quick who is not Zeus?
Look, all I'm saying is, Andromache can't fight us if I unplug the DM's Wi-Fi.
Ooh.
Oh, true.
This is
Joke's
so
on
great.
you. Joke's on you. He uses a solid state machine.
He is a solid state machine.
Machine. Plug my router back in now. So I take it that just means Rift and Shinhoff don't want to roll,
Or they're not paying.
No, I'm sorry. I
or they're
didn't
not,
realize-
or he's too focused on beating Yama or Olmec head or whatever.
I am not playing Spelunky, so
Wow.
you got him. No,
Not spelunking.
I just did not realize that was for the whole team. My bad.
Everyone
Yo,
who's not
45. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Rifter and
I
Zeus are
heard
pretty close.
I heard only Zeus.
Oh,
That was my bad.
So for everyone who is not a paladin, as you all, as he closes in on this, for a brief moment, there's a circle around him, and which includes all of you, and this bubble begins to wrap around until suddenly this very room feels like it's being transported, and then the room itself is left behind. And for the paladins, it's very simply just a blur of reds, browns, and blues, and then they end up at the destination that they will be at. But for the other three, you're able to see as it very much begins to brute force its way through a bunch of potential options as it goes boom, 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 and you see different landscapes each time. Most of them residing in areas with a tremendous amount of brown and black caves and blue mushrooms and like strange glyphs on walls, and then eventually one settles properly. You're able to look out. You're in a grassy field surrounded by wooden regular trees, some of which go a little taller than others. There's a tower of smoke in the distance from some sort of contained fire. And very nearby, there's a small ruin made of 4 minarets. Let me go ahead and throw you on it. There are 4... okay, we'll take an intermission in just a second.
Okay, I'll wait until the intermission.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought you were taking a brief...
There are 4 spires on each side of this structure. A small staircase that leads up to the center, and on the inside you can see some sort of writing in a language, but you do not know which type it is. Each of these towers has blue spirals going up along the outside, each with different markings on it that seem to be some sort of runes. The inside, despite not looking very well used, looks well kept, as there are no spider webs or other such elements on the inside. The sky, at the very least, looks similar to home, with the same sort of sun. And the air nearby, well, at least it's not a storm in the traditional sense, is instead simply filled with extreme elements of blowing mana and wind. For the magic users in the group, it feels only slightly unpleasant, but for the people who don't use magic, the bits of sputtering blue mana that float in the sky as the winds drift burn a little bit like a stray ember. And with that, I believe we should take an intermission.
Be right back.
Me when I intermish. How hungry?
How hungry!
Hungry enough to eat a horse.
I'm so hungry I could eat a rat hound. Rat hound.
No, no, we're not
That was
doing this.
crazy one.
We are not doing this.
Sounds like we are.
They put me
I
in
am
rat
back,
hounds.
by the way.
Oh wow, he is
Thank
back.
God you're
Oh,
back.
true.
I don't have
Yeah,
to go
I-
on
I-
about how rat hounds make me crazy.
Back. I was back once.
I'm
The
gonna
only thing I-
fucking kill myself.
Before
They
we
put
begin,
me in
all I
an
want to
oven,
say
a rubber oven.
is that after hearing this talk about eating things and them being tasting better or tasting worse, as the end of the day, it just sounds like you don't have pocket spaghetti. That's all I'm hearing, dude.
Yes, indeed.
true.
Pockets are reserved for sand.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
The party has
Doc is
found
looking down on
themselves
us,
in
and he
front
is
of this
weeping.
mysterious structure with a central pyramid and 4 surrounding pillars like minarets. And the nearby wind blows through harshly with blue tendrils of magical energy on the wind. It is harsh. It's even more so to those who do not have not practiced the art of dealing with the mana around them.
Is this it?
I'm not sure. Zeus, is this it?
I'm
It's what feels like it's it. And in the distance,
Also-
a campfire's fire rests out into the sky.
it seems right, feels right. Energy of it.
Where on the map was this again? Or Rifter? Where on the map was the city?
Rifter would know, but I do not.
Generally northwest.
So
Up
along the
around-
mountain line.
Little, not that west.
Okay.
It would be
I'm
a
going to
little.
call-
It would be a little north, and keep in mind the map's a little tilted. Like north is like 30 degrees. It would be a little bit north of the modern Elven city.
Okay. Well, we are, I think, still on our plane. Let's work under the assumption this is correct. If we find out it's not, then we can change. If you believe that it's correct, Zeus, I trust you.
Right.
I appreciate it. Let's begin investigating, I guess.
This is strangely small.
It might not
What
be...
are the markings on the wall? Sorry, you go ahead.
he was just saying, it might not be all that it seems.
Making your way in. These markings on the wall are a series of glyphs that begin immediately upon the party's entrance to shift around, and some of them start to take the form of letters, but weakly, and it's starting to attempt to figure out how to communicate a series of words to the group. It is taking its time.
Seems to be reacting to us.
Towards each of the 4 spinnerets, there's a small corridor that leads from this central chamber to each of those outcroppings. There's enough room for each person to squeeze through, but definitely no more than 2 people. Sorry, definitely not 2 people, no more than 1. The words begin to form definitive sentences, which I will go ahead and copy over to player chat before I say it. But does the party have anything else they're doing right now, or are you just waiting on me?
I mean, I think
Yeah.
we were just waiting to read the
Yeah,
words.
because we're
before
trying to
we
read
did it.
what the words are.
Okay, valid. That is a typo. Give me 2 seconds.
What the word doing?
What the word doing?
Word.
Alright. They have finished forming their words. What lies buried here deserves to stay as such. There is no treasure or great rescue to be had, only pain and deceit. This place should be entered for no reason other than to be purged, a task we could not perform. With heart, strength, conviction, cunning, and dedication, pick up our mantle and succeed, or stay clear.
I think we should.
What language is it in?
At the moment, in common. Previously, it was in an unidentified language that quickly began to shift around to this. It has modified itself to make itself understood.
Well then.
I think it would be wise for us to hold off. We don't have... I don't have my weapon yet, and Rifter does not have his secondary yet.
Right. And the storm is rather unfortunate, so perhaps we wait in the antechamber? Or perhaps we head back to Jar Martavir and take care of tasks in the meantime?
There was a fire, a controlled fire off into the distance. We might as well see what that's all about, I would say.
Alright.
Lay of the surrounding land, get ourselves prepared around here. Because I don't think it would be... Frankly, I don't want to tax Zeus too much, and... Okay, so, that was a lie. It's not about not wanting to tax Zeus too much, I just don't want us to end up somewhere that will take time, if, on the rare chance that he does have an issue with it.
I'm not against caution in this instance. I know I can't control it well. I would rather us be where we know we are than be
Listen,
somewhere we have no
normally,
idea.
in any other circumstance, I would be completely fine with ripping on you, saying that you suck, whatever, but more important things right now.
Yes.
Let's take the time that we have right now before we're rearmed, before I'm rearmed, and get a lay of the land. We don't want to come out and have things falling apart around us either way.
Of course.
Next dawn, we can leave.
The party steps back out from the chamber, and the unrelenting wind begins to batter your flesh once more. It's, even for the magic uses, it begins to sting a little bit heavier as it begins to pierce through, leaving a bit of a twinge on the muscles it passes.
Is there anything you can do here?
Beyond what I am already, not much. It seems almost unnatural.
Let's try and find shelter, try and find people while we wait.
You're able to focus on it a little bit, Schoenhoff, and the winds themselves no longer batter the party, but the mana flowing alongside it continues to move along as if nothing happened.
Right, let's head towards the fire. Where there's fire, there's people.
Right. Maybe they might know more about this storm.
And to make sure that we actually are where we think we are.
Though with a warning like that, there's not too many places that could be.
Indeed. Verification is nice, though. And as much as I'd love to get into crazy conflict with your wonderful hand axe, I don't think I'd be able to do very much. As he sort of flips it around in his hand. Probably drops it on the ground and then picks it back up.
It's just a precaution, don't worry.
I'm aware. Besides, I think at this point I could probably summon up power without my spear as much as it would limit me. Alright, let's go.
Right.
As he starts moving out towards.
Aye.
As you make your way through, your bodies start to get rather pissed at you as a result of the mana storm that sits here. But eventually you make your way to a small divot in a nearby cliff face, where there appears to be a group of individuals who have set up a small encampment in the area. The rear cliff is one that stands straight up, but either side leans down gently, which leads to a nice fair bit of protection for the campfire in the center, as well as causing almost all of the wind to travel seamlessly over top. You get no immediate hostilities upon being visible to the individuals here, but they are almost all looking at you, with the only exception being the ones who cannot immediately see you. Each of them has a small section in which they are hanging out, and there are 3 small, tents in the northern section of this divot.
Let's say
At the very
preliminary.
least, you have respite from the storm.
He's going to very lightly under his breath to the party say, I mean, based on the demographic, I think we're in roughly the right area.
Aye.
How do we want to approach talking to them?
Maybe asking them about the storm.
Potentially.
Say that we've been traveling through it and hoping they might have some more insight about it, since it's been going on for so long.
Indeed. As much as I like to be the one that introduces and takes over when talking to people, at this point you are an executor. You might hold more gravitas when it comes to interacting with people.
Depending on who they are, I might not want to pull that card.
Perhaps.
The older man in the central of the yurts takes a step out and looks at the group.
Darius is going to look back and give like a narrow bow and like a small hand up wave. Shallow bow, not narrow. I don't know why I said narrow.
Lork also offers a curt bow.
He moves
going to-
forward and sits at a log near the campfire and continues to keep an eye on you.
Darius is going to make his way forward.
He does not give the first ward.
Darius says, approaches the fire, and is there a log on this side of the fire as well?
There is.
he's going to sit down on this side of the fire and say, "Greetings. I'm sorry to intrude upon the encampment. We are travelers who've been making our way through the area and want to know what the nature of the storm that is currently about."
The other woman off on the left moves over and begins whispering words into his ear, which he then says a few other words out loud. I don't suppose anyone speaks Elvish, no?
Lork definitely doesn't.
Zeus speaks Elvish.
Zeus speaks Elvish, okay.
Yo.
So, you're able to pick up that she's translating from Common for him, telling him. He then makes the statement out loud, and she starts to translate perhaps a little less effectively than you might be able to, but definitely with a lot more trust.
Mm-hmm.
The first bit
Okay.
is just a very simple question. Why are you here?
Zeus is going to kind of look over at, or he's going to look towards maybe Lorik and back at Darius between. I can help translate the more specifics of what we're saying.
It would be greatly appreciated, Zeus. Is Zeus going to gesture Zeus forward, like kind of pat on the log that he's sitting on?
Mhm. Thumbs up, sits down. Zeus is going to kind of say in Elvish out, I'm going to translate for us.
He shakes his head. She has a bit of a smile on her face.
Ah. I just have to pull up some of my notes personally. Just give me 1 minute.
No
Okay.
worries.
I just gotta pull up my Elvish real quick. Hold up. Been a while.
Okay.
Wait, is it
Okay, Tolkien lover.
Shradine or Skadine? I remember one of them is thank you very much, and the other one is fuck you very much. Which one's which?
Ooh.
I go. I got this. Orlando Bloom.
Ah, there it is.
Alright.
So Zeus is dying this session.
Bloomin',
Yeah.
bloomin', bloomy, bloomy, Sir Bloomston.
I hate it here.
Zeus is gonna pull out all the stops. He's gonna be like, I know this Elven word that fits perfectly here. He's gonna be going try hard.
See, this is exactly what I like about the new language system we're gonna have.
Poke, poke, poke.
One of our party members, as he gestures back towards Grunhoff, is a great magical scholar, and we have come traveling to Sharakadien to unravel some secrets that it lies, and should we need to purge it.
The mixed translation from her and Zeus comes out to, then you are either lost or made a mistake. The ruins here have little knowledge to give.
But are they Sharon Kadian?
She
Zeus translates
speaks
that over.
before he
Sorry.
does. I do not know. She
Or looks
makes another
puzzled for a
statement
moment.
off on the side. Are you Delmarov?
Yes.
I have never seen.
It, it's rather a shame that we don't keep good contact with more of this land's peoples. I hope to amend that in the future.
She looks at Zeus, amend.
Fix. Sorry.
Nods her, and she nods her head back. He says something in Elvish to her, too quiet to hear over the wind and sparkling campfire. She says a few words back, catching him up. He goes back to looking at Darius.
Well, I understand the ruins and their markings denote that it is not. There is no knowledge, there is no treasure. We have reason to believe from our own searching, our own findings, through much time, much effort, that if there is one thing there, there is a secret that is important to the work of our friend here.
This is the first part where Zeus is in her translations very significantly. She translates it as a then that is an unfortunate situation. Zeus, you would translate it more as then your friend should pick a better line of study. Which,
Yeah,
let's
fair.
be honest, is probably the more literal interpretation.
Yeah. She was trying to spare our feelings. Zeus is under no such illusions.
Yeah, after Zeus translates that, he'll be like, that's him, not me.
I understand that you believe these ruins to be, well, for lack of a better line, terrifying, terrible. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but
He
perhaps we
cuts
can...
you off with a few words. I don't care for them other than the bothers that they bring every few months. As more and more think they will be different.
He's going to sit for a moment. Darius is going to kind of look over his shoulder to Lorik. How do we convince them that we're not just travelers? He's going to look at the girl. Miss, you said you know of the Delmarevs, correct?
Yes, I am Dantes. I am the outstrider of our group. I have gone and talked in other towns, other cities. They have spoke of it.
And do you know what an executor is?
I do not.
An executor is a leader of the Delmarev order, the highest position you can be other than the one at the helm, the highborn. My friend Lorik here is an executor.
She begins saying a few words to him. Y'all are able to pick up first the word Lorik, then a little bit later the word executor, which sounds a little weird, and he's probably going to get misrecorded eventually, but it's noticeable enough. He dismisses it a little bit. And eventually he gives a very clean and definitive statement. Just, if you make no trouble with us, you're free to spend the night before you throw your lives away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He says something that she does not translate, but instead sort of says differently. I have permission to introduce you if you'd like.
We would greatly appreciate it.
Well, she moves around. Hello again, I am Mantis. The others, forgive them. They speak only littler common than I.
No need to
This is-
apologize.
Yeah, Zeus gonna reply in Elvish and be like, no worries, we are the outsiders here, we should be more accommodating, more aware.
She gives a smile. That was Shao Grell. He is the chief of our group, and in the room, watching, peering through, is his son, Salvith. To the right, and she points over there, is Kaurith. She is the finder. She forages things from nearby and keeps ones of that she determines of worth. Pointing down next clockwise, that is Favreth. She is the Fury and keeps work on our few tools that we have and carries many of the supplies. Keep going around. That is Hector. He is the low speaker and our, like, how I am a liaison to you, he is the liaison to our world. Going next one around, he is Vansky, the Eye. He searches areas before we go to make sure there's a safe home for us. Lastly, there is Tarsine. She is the sharp amongst us, both in wisdom and in... And she holds, trying to think of the word for a moment. And then just says it to Zeus in, thanks, very, very professional. It says it to Zeus in Elvish, which Zeus is able to translate as being something around combat prowess, sort of.
Combat.
She then says, and of you? And points at Zeus first.
Zeus is going to... Zeus is going to say this all in Elvish. It's going to be like, I am kind of the trusted one to keep things, good with between our group and others. We're all adventurers. This, to my right, his name is Darius. He's sometimes gets ahead of himself in a lot of areas, but a very noble man. Knows a lot about finances and such.
Hearing his name, Darius would bow, like a deeper bow than he normally does.
See what I mean? He thinks I'm talking very highly of him. He's behind me. I love
Is Zeus laughing?
No, I'm laughing.
Okay.
He kind of goes to
Pissed.
Rifter. His name is Rifter. He is kind of like our scout of us. He is a very cunning warrior, as many of us also are. This is Struenhof, a very brilliant magic practitioner, and this is Lorik, as you've been introduced to some of his titles and such.
And Lork nods.
She moves around, shaking each of your hands afterwards and repeating your names, but not. And it's up to you if you want to be. I won't say a dick and correct her, considering that it's close enough. But it's along the lines of stuff. Darius is one that she gets pretty dang close, but it's like Zeus, Darius, Knight Rafta, Stranhof, and Lorik.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. And her name is Vantis or Mantis or
Lantes.
something else?
Lantas.
Lantis. Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All of their names are two-syllable words with an A in the first one.
Sure.
I see.
It is an honor to stay here and to meet you. Kind of says to her.
Zeus.
She looks around. I wish we could host under better times.
No worries.
Speaking
We've-
of, do
Yes.
you know what this storm is caused by?
Hercine says the gods have cried, and their tears fall through the storm.
Has she ever said which gods?
She does not know.
Thank you for what you know, as he nods.
After a little bit of silence, she feels the need to correct. But no, she does know many other things. She is very...
I'm sure.
It's just this is a strange situation. None of us know exactly.
I do not blame one for not knowing something that we ourselves do not know.
Most of the other clan members are kind of just looking at you, with the exception of Favoreth in the blacksmith, who simply continues working a little bit on a small amount of material.
You say you've traveled to other towns nearby, he says, starting to make up conversation to kind of break the weird silence.
Yes, but not far, only to talk, make small trade. I get to, I get very homesick, but less than my brothers and sisters. So I choose to sacrifice for them.
I wish I had the same relationship you have with your family. But I found my own. And what is it that you all trade in? I myself am
She
trader.
cuts. She's hybrid cuts you off, but it's not like a full cut off. More just like a little comment. All family is found family. All the same. All worthwhile.
And that note, the Lord kind of pats Darius on the shoulder.
Indeed. But I myself am the, let's say, traitor of the group. I do my fair share of managing goods. What is it that you trade with the nearby villages?
She sort of puts her hands up and is shaking her hands. No. Just like, no, very, very simple, minor, simple furs and trees and roots for small metal or or extra tarps. No, no trouble. No trouble.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just interested. I'm curious.
I can maybe
Most,
help alleviate some translation issues
most of
with it.
interest is Calreath. She finds strange things of interest.
I'm more so interested in your experience with it. Not necessarily the things you trade. It's a phase of my life that is slowly moving behind me, and he's gonna kind of nudge Zeus if you can make this a little bit sound better.
Of course, of course. Zeus kind of fluffs it up,
and
makes it nice.
I'm more. I want to understand your experience with it and how you like it.
It being trading?
Yeah, trading, moving around, exchanging goods, being around people that aren't like the ones you're always around.
Since Zeus, she starts speaking in common because and then eventually she just yields for a moment and eventually just starts speaking in Elvish to Zeus. I get very sad when I go far away from home, and well, there's certainly interest in seeing new places. There's always a somber sadness that I do not get to see it with those that I love and those that I live with. And no towering trees or fancy machines will make that any different.
Zeus translates back properly.
Darius nods. I am fortunate enough that when I go to trade, my family comes with me, as he sort of gestures towards all of them. We live our lives moving around the world, being in different places. And he kind of leans forward, and places not in this world.
Vansky moves over and begins whispering a few things in her
Zeus is going to try and listen in.
ear. You do not succeed. That is... You're not...
Okay.
You may be good at listening, you're not... That's fucking superhuman. It's a fucking windy
Gotcha.
day, there's a campfire, and he's whispering into her ear from like 2 inches away.
Yeah, but he has a plus 11.
Yeah, but he has a plus 11. I mean...
I mean...
I mean,
He is a level 20 rogue. If anyone's gonna be superhuman, it's a level 20 PSC. JK.
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
it's fine.
Look, man, you're not superhuman until you get a divine boon.
You're not superhuman. You're not even human.
Damn
Oh,
it.
he's
We
got the
should have
good
wished for good
Listen,
hearing.
superhuman just means better than human. I am obviously better than human because I have a fucking breath weapon. What do you have?
Okay,
Zeus
right.
just...
Yes.
Eyebrows.
Ooh. If he had eyebrows, they'd
listen,
be burned right now.
Listen, that's a low blow.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty highbrow to me.
I'm going to kill you in your sleep.
All right, let's keep going.
Actually, Darius
Yeah.
is going to not allow that. Bansky moves forward, talks to her some, and she translates back in common. Bansky is also interested in having heard of how far you have gone. We know only of the nearby land and the mountains, the forests, the plains. What lies beyond? I have heard others talk of lands with rolling rocks or lands of great unending rivers.
Here, let's do this. Darius is going to pull out his notebook and towards the end tear out a page and place it on the cover of his notebook as he closes it and hand it over to Rifter with his pen. Rifter, can you draw me a map and point to the places I talk about as I speak of them?
Oh, we have our map too.
This is... Come on.
But this
Ulrich,
is cooler.
This is better.
This is its story.
Fair enough.
Eventually, as you are talking, Zeus is translating and she's translating. You get another person and another two people who come over and are just like observing as part of it. What are some of the key places you talk about?
So he starts by going over the general areas, saying things like the Perun Empire, the Savage Kingdoms, he leaves the Wilderlands for last. Goes pretty like mysterious in depth about like, ooh, the Wilderlands is a place that some people never hear back from. It's a mysterious place. He describes the Savage Kingdoms as where he is from, the enormous desert of unmapped size. He talks about all of the different terrains of what's the southern Perun area called? I don't remember.
The Volstrom territory?
The Volstrom territories, and the ports and the trade and the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people.
Zeus also too. He's going to follow Darius's kind of like fun storytelling emphasis as much as possible, if not helping to play it up more. He's also going to use Spell Scroll of Dancing Lights to kind of put up this kind of good vibes of this wondrousness, you know, which he had and he uses now. But yeah.
There's a little bit of like when he makes this comment about thousands of people or whatever, the from three of them, everybody who is everybody who's not Lantus has a bit of a chuckle, and then she has to reaffirms to them that yes, no, that's real. That's something she's seen. Like no, that's that sort of thing. That's real. It's a decently good way to pass a few hours as you start to get into the afternoon and the storm continues to rage on slightly stronger.
Mm-hmm.
The other four, however, remain where they are.
But that is the general overview of the land that we all live on, the places that we ourselves have been and have heard of. And he is going to ask Rifter for the map back, or the drawn map back. I assume he gets it back.
Uh-oh, shitter alert.
This is so
I
Evan
think Rifter
shitter.
said he was. Evan said he was getting G Fuel.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, he is
assuming
falling asleep.
that he gets it back.
Yeah.
Darius is going to circle where the general area of where we are and hand the map over to them. The newly drawn map.
Vansky grabs it, hands it over to Lantus, who hands it over to Tausin.
You are free to keep that. But
Vansky moves out of the way after Tausin says something on their group and then sort of switches around. And Lantus translates that Zeus also is able to translate. This is not a literal translation, but it gets the idea across. A trade then. And Tausin says a few more things. You were knowing about the god tiers.
yes.
Would you like to know more?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Darius kind of looks over. If he said yes, then yes.
kind of points and nods.
Talcine moves over then and begins talking very specifically to Zeus at a decently short range.
What all do you know? In Elvish.
Can you not hear it? When the winds...
Oh.
The normal wind as it blows, sure, may billow and weave, but those strands, the tears, they hold her screams. I know not who she is, that those tears are from her and she weeps for it. Or perhaps she bleeds, but I hope not.
Lork turns to Darius.
Zeus is going to try and listen to hear if he can hear what she's talking about.
Would you mind rolling me an Arcana?
Absolutely.
Hey, that's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's good.
I could make
You're
it
able to
amazing.
start to pick up and distinguish that between all of the bits of actual just howling wind, there does seem to be moments that sound like whimpers or crying. The world around you begs to be listened to, if only you give it a chance.
You pick up on this. Also, Zeus is going to translate everything she says for the rest of the party as well. Do you always pick up on these things? How did you learn to listen so carefully?
I simply made it my goal. It was what was best for all of the others. To have someone to warn them of the approaching storm or of approaching troop. To be a vanguard against danger. And so that was my purpose.
Well, your skills are certainly amazing. Have you heard her any kind of gestures up to the winds and such?
From
Her
time
voice
to time.
before?
No. Never. But I have never heard her voice in a mana storm. Normally they are like children or soldiers, rarely women.
I translate this back.
I don't
Is that-
know if this is a good question to ask or the right question or if you have answers to it, because I myself cannot hear. But do these screams sound like that of a grieving mother, one that's lost their child?
I mean, would Darius like to attempt to figure out if he can hear before that?
You would? You know what? He'll attempt to hear.
In fact, does everyone want to do that?
Sure. Arcana, you said, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's not bad for me.
That's not bad.
Look, I'm just saying Zeus can hear Arcana tears, but he can't hear some dude.
Wow, better Arcana than than all the magic casters, actually. What the fuck?
Hey,
Yo,
Shinoff,
roll for the
since
win,
it's
let's
an
go.
auditory one, would you mind rolling again?
The same roll.
Yeah.
Arcana.
Alright.
This is so true.
This is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody
We're
like
so
to...
not that.
What's up?
Nothing.
Would anybody like to do anything?
Lorik is oblivious. He's like, there. That sounds about right. I don't know.
That's the wind. Mhm.
For
The
Stroonhawk,
wind.
you're able to pick up a little bit about how from time to time it sounds almost like there would be someone behind you on the wind, but never enough to make out anything close to words. For Lorik, well, it's wind, and I mean,
Must have been the wind.
people just, like people already call the wind doing things like howling and screaming, and this seems a little different. And for the others, you're able to definitively pick up individual whispers and whimperings.
There is a cacophony of voices on the air.
And somebody mind rolling me a flat D20?
I'll do it. Oh, well, okay.
Well, he did it. I was hoping that it would be one of the people who heard it, but I guess I
Oh.
should have been specific, and that's okay
I'm
anyway.
sorry.
Who's taking that roll?
I will.
I will.
No.
Darius, as you listen in, and I assume you were wondering if it was Cassandra?
Yeah.
It does not sound like Cassandra.
Okay.
Man, I realized after doing that it's like, hey, that could be misinterpreted, and I really wanted to make a joke about how, man, I'm really bullying a third mama now.
So true.
I mean, fourth mom, if you consider the original context with Rifter's mom.
Yeah, but that was Rift. That no, that was Evan bullying Rifter's mom. That was his
Oh,
backstory, not mine.
True.
True.
Darius, did you have a question?
No. Never mind. It's not her.
Zeus is going to turn back to Halcyon, I believe, if I'm pronouncing
That's
that
right.
correctly. All of your time, all of your history of listening to things like this, how, I guess I would say, close is this? How strong on a scale?
They often cry and they often fear. Sorry. They often cry or fear or simply find themselves lost, but this is... She holds her tongue for a little bit. I feel like she begs to live.
Must be a lot to hear all of that all the time. I greatly appreciate you sharing this.
She
with us.
shakes her head now. Not all of the time. This is new. Only in this storm. This one is the worst.
I know me and my party seem like just random adventurers, but our goal is to, if we are correct in our assumptions, help with this and help fix the grief here. I know you have no reason to have any belief that we could do something, but
She shakes her head no at the end of the first two statements and explains two reasons for there is no grief you need to solve for us. And I know you are not random. And she very specifically quotes your usage of terminology, which doesn't translate very well. Random
gotcha.
travelers. Or you can listen in on the way of the world.
Darius. So I assume Zeus has translated this.
Yeah,
Just really
Zeus
quick.
will
Okay.
take a beat and then translate. Yeah.
Darius is going to not say anything, not make any movement or action, but he is going to choose to drop the blocker that he's put up on his divine presence.
Burp. He do be bourbon.
Word up.
Continue then.
And he is going to say, regardless of whose it is, I believe that we will be able to solve it.
She ends up looking at you for a moment, and despite the overcast sky and the fire nearby, not quite reduced to embers, but lying rather low, her eyes sparkle for a moment. Before she clears her head and begins to tend to the fire. She sneaks another peek at Darius at one point, going through doing that, making sure it does not die out. There are a few hours till nightfall. What else does the party intend to do? Few words are spoken to Vansky, who departs, leaving the camp.
Maybe seeing if there's anything we can help out with.
Yeah.
Zeus, I think you're up for this one.
Talcine attempts to communicate with Lantis about that, and Lantis gives a confirming statement. Do any of you know the spell that puts things together?
Mending. I sadly don't.
Strunhoff, I believe, would be the only one who would be able to employ that kind of magic. Do you know how to, Strunhoff?
He is Burb. Let me,
Big
I don't think he does.
He do.
You do? Oh, Pog.
He do.
Based.
But we will talk about other things first. That happens
Yep.
after this.
Gotcha.
Other than that, the only statements you get are, be sure to eat well and try to... And she laughs a little. Make joy of the companies. It
If
would
you-
be a dishonor if you were not happy before you left.
I mean, just being able to stay here is a joy enough, I'm sure we will. But, you know, if you need any help hunting or anything like that, or some food, if you don't have food already stored, we are happy to also help with that. Quite capable people here.
You are kind, but only if that is what you want. If that brings you joy.
good meal. Like Zeus kind of turns around, and looks good. That would bring us joy, right?
Lord Mount.
As you're talking, she just points upwards. The wind bellowing above.
Hmm.
A particularly potent strike of blue streaks across as it's carried along.
What's that?
Okay. I'm just gonna tell you like the blue that's the streaks of mana in the wind.
But did this one seem particularly like different from the rest, or
No, just just like
Gotcha.
how sometimes there's just gonna be a loud bolt of thunder.
fair?
Yeah,
Okay.
like that.
Zeus will help.
Talcine asks Xanthus something, which then she repeats. Do you know why this storm lasts so long?
I can't say that I do.
Zeus will translate that and also kind of add on, we are here for different reasons, maybe connected, not quite sure.
Well, please, anything I can help to do. Please talk to me.
Of course. And, when we have food and stuff, we can possibly just discuss more, figure things out.
She smiles. What else would the party like to do?
Can't
Or
really
would
think
the
of
party
anything.
like to commit time skip?
Probably for the best unless someone else.
The only thing I can think of would be to, and I don't know if there's any way for me to do this. Try to take a look at their stuff just to see more about what they have, what they're doing out here, to like verify that they are who they say they are, and there's not, any corpses around here.
You take a sneak out into the icky winds, and you see no other grave sites or random stray corpses beyond that of like, small animals that have been hunted.
Okay. You can never be too sure.
Nice.
These bumpkin types.
The cannibal elves in the woods.
I'm so sorry you said your friend Joey couldn't come for dinner. No, we have him for dinner.
Would you mind making me both a sleight of hand and perception just for that, like, kind of, just gonna take the better of the two just for, peeking around, just for, being a sneaky little boy, and then, like, opening up a pot lid to see what is in here, though, and then just, closing it back. Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, okay, wow.
Everything is as it seems. They are pretty fucking poor, but they also are well equipped for the situation.
Yeah, basically, for all intents and purposes, Rifter just has a fucking 360-degree dome around him. He can just perceive everything around him. Okay. Well, in that case, time skip me a wave, Dad.
Oh, hey, the Huff is back.
Hey,
The only thing that has happened, importantly, is that they talked a little bit about what each of them can do for each other, and just simple task of asking if anyone here has that spell that puts two things together.
Wow, so convenient.
Which is why we waited for you.
Upon hearing that they need such a spell, I kindly offer it.
Cowdeith goes over and tries to shake your hand a little bit and then begins showing you a few different things of hers that have been broken.
I'm assuming all very simple things that mending will do.
Yes, absolutely. Like, you know, yeah, torn cloth, broken pottery, those sorts of things.
In that case, I will get to work.
After doing some of the work, she takes one of the plants that to you looks a lot like a weed and from it and just gives it to you.
Can I determine if it is magical?
You can. Would you like to roll me an Arcana?
Sure.
It does not seem magical.
Okay. I will keep it and study it later more extensively. Unless, of course, she can tell me what it is through Zeus.
Zeus walks
Okay,
over.
so he's gonna go over and he's gonna ask Zeus for the translate button.
Zeus goes, yes, Struenhof, well, what, he's going to ask, what is, my friend here just wishes to know more of the nature of this gift. Or was it a gift? If it wasn't, he's not going to translate it that way, but, Pog. Zeus translates back, wait, yo, bro, I can't believe how much I say Pog in real life. I realized this is
Honestly,
a thing that happens.
same.
Base.
Pretty poggers, my pog champs.
Pretty Pog.
My good sir, that's pretty pog champ of you.
I do have to say,
Fine, I guess you are my little rat hound. Come here.
Zeus is going to turn back to Strudolf and is going to be like, this helps with focus, kind of honing in, things like that.
Ah. Good for my thanks.
Zeus translates back, sincerest thanks. By the way, can I, if I can borrow your ear and, Zeus is going to kind of wave over Rifter for a second and just like to a separate little area, not right in front of, Telsine. It's going to be like, so, I know the other two would be kind of like, you know, you neither of you have any tips on a little light flirting, do you?
Are you asking me for girl advice?
Just a little bit. It's been a while. I'm not trying to jeopardize anything here. I just, it's nice to have, I feel good vibes,
Is Zeus a blue tiefling right now, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I found that the best way to, I don't know, what's the word? Flirt, I guess, in your terms, is, to do a dance back and forth. I give, you pull. That's our dance. In other words, make fun of them, make fun of yourself, be light about it, be kind when you need to, not too much. Nobody likes interacting with somebody all one note all the time.
Fair. Make less jokes about Darius. Got it.
Yes, indeed. More jokes about them, and ask them about their interests. I find that most people like to talk about themselves. It's always good to give them room for conversation.
Fair. She seems to care about family a lot. That might be a good, Oh, what do you like most about family?
Yeah, then maybe just talk about your family.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I don't know about that one.
Well, I mean, your brother's cool.
That Zeus is going to face drops, look at the ground. He was.
No, he is. Rifter looks at him very seriously.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
But outside of that, I mean, just be yourself. I know that's very generic advice. If they like you, they like you. It ain't that hard.
True. Struenhoff, I also called you over here. You've, I assume, been around the block quite a bit. Got any
What?
advice? You're an older man. You've probably, you know.
Do I?
There's some finger guns.
You totally get it, he says to man who totally doesn't get it.
You've certainly cast a love spell or two in your life. You know what I'm saying?
You understand I'm a scholar, right? You realize what I've been working on for the past, dozens of years.
What, you've never seen some girl in the library and been like, oh, maybe we should do a research project together? That's never happened.
No. Not too many people would be interested in the research me and Sultan were pursuing.
Rifter, when all this is over, us three, we're hitting the town.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, maybe. Emma and I are still.
Oh, right, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
new to knowing you. I apologize. My bad.
It's all good.
Struenhoff, you and me, we're hitting the town.
I mean, regardless, I mean, I do think that you should ask Darius for some advice. I mean, he's. I mean, maybe he's had more experience with men, so maybe it's not quite the same.
And you know,
He's got
Zeus,
it.
I would watch your step. You know that love spells and potions are illegal, right?
Oh, yes, sorry. I meant that in a metaphorical sense, of course. I meant like, your love spell. Not like a love spell. No, I don't want to.
Yes, a character such as yourself would never think of doing something under the table such as that.
Of course not. I told you I'm a good guy now.
We're very legitimate.
Very. Little thievery here and there, but that's the line. Alright, well, I appreciate this. Don't tell Darius and Lorik. They'll get mad that I'm thinking about this at such an important time.
What is it?
Wouldn't dream of it, the buzzkills.
Just go back out. We time skip to dinner or something.
Dinner.
Unless
Unless.
Lorik or Darius had anything. Unless.
Oh, I mean, if you're asking Lork for advice, he'd happily try and give something useful.
You see Zeus is hesitant to approach Darius or Lorik only because he's like, they're gonna yell at me so hard if I ask anything. They're gonna be like, there's no, this is where, was it do or die situation?
Be an awkward nerd, and then they'll find that charming. That's Lorik's advice. 100%.
It's the perfect plan.
Classic.
Are you all right?
What? Yes, of course. Yes. What are you talking about? I wasn't able to find much when hunting for dinner. I wanted to make sure dinner's good.
Vansky returns with a whole ass double deer.
My, that fucking guy. Am I right?
A double deer is a deer with two heads.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't give much
Head
more
isn't
meat,
even-
but it's certainly more interesting.
The head isn't even the best part. Is that
He
normal,
yells something
Lorik?
out that you don't quite understand, and Fevroth moves over and starts butchering it with him.
Now they're talking in code. They don't trust me. He's not yelling this out. He's kind of saying it quietly to Lorg.
Darius finally looking up from his notebook that he's been writing in and taking notes and like pulling out and reading other stuff, says, "Yes, I'm sure," and then looks back down and continues.
What are you writing?
I'm logging. I'm making sure I understand the area. I want to record these people, their culture. I want to cross-reference with things that I have already known. As much as I hate that it's my first impulse to, this is also seems to be lower traffic area for other merchants. It's habit. I have to do these kinds of things when I see areas like this that have low good flow. My brain just immediately drifts to how can I change that.
Hey, no complaints here. We are up against a lot of very tough places. Do what calms you down, you know? Lork, you were going to say something as well?
What calms me down is punching you in the stomach.
Okay. What calms you down second most?
Punching you in the face.
An interesting ranking, I do have to say. Lork?
So is everything alright, Zeus?
Yeah. I think you want to know what I'm really going to just take tonight, try and clear my head out, you know? Oh, and like Darius is talking about, learn about these people. I think we don't really do that enough, you know? We don't really talk to the local people that much everywhere we go. We gotta...
You don't.
Zeus, you seem wildly nervous right now. What's wrong?
Look, do you know what we're about to do?
Yes.
A dangerous situation.
Yes.
Either way.
This hasn't ever been an easy path. I think I might just be a little bit desensitized to it because it's never been easy.
Fair. I do... Actually does make me think of something. I do feel like each thing that passes, and he's going to kind of say this both to Darius and Lorg, each kind of, you know, we've been through a lot of pretty horrific events recently. I feel like each that passes, I'm a little bit worried of that, of being too desensitized to these dangers.
Once all this is done, we can go back to having a normal, healthy understanding of the world and its dangers, I hope.
That's a luxury the two of you are going to get. Unfortunately, I am in a different position as he licks a finger and turns a page. That
Sadly,
I have to deal with my I have to revel in my desensitization. Desensitization. Thank you, Ripton. While it lasts.
Personally, I think I was always desensitized.
Well,
You
of
all of
that's
us.
fair.
But don't go talking about luxuries yet, Darius. Given that last conversation with Marivax, I may yet be joining you in that kind of scale.
Don't do that to yourself. You didn't want to. If you don't want to, don't. This isn't a place for somebody who doesn't want to. And that's not offensive, it's just factually how it is.
No, but I agree with what he said. Someone has to be the one to put out the ember, and I worry that if it's not me, no one else will.
Just don't do what he did and kill yourself with it.
I won't.
Pretty high bar.
So, Zeus,
Yes.
is there anything you want to talk about? This might be our last time where we have any sense of normalcy until all this is done.
You are being very weird, Zeus. And I'm not even paying attention, and I can tell how weird you're being as he turns
Yeah.
another page.
But you're a.
Okay,
Got it.
so
I. You wanna know what? How did you two start getting together? I feel like I mean, we've seen, some things like when we were up in, this boy's realm up there. The tree, that nice date and stuff. What's the lines that really like hooked you to each other?
Laura got Stockholm Syndrome as he turns another page.
Ah, well, you see, son, that's a tale as old as time. It all began when the horn got broken off.
truth be told, that wasn't really the beginning. As stupid as it sounds, I first noticed him as a result of the meddling of Jake.
Okay.
Darius's friend, Jake.
Oh,
Do you remember the gift he sent?
Oh,
Oh,
afterlife will not spare me from that.
What was this gift? What?
The less that's said about it, the better. Regardless, it was the fact that me noticing him in that sense, and the two of us trying to work through our mutual distrust so that we could actually be functional members of a party together. And from there, things sped up with me saving his life, with us working together to try and split him off from Nidhogg.
Rorik had it a lot rougher than most other people trying to court me, considering I wasn't even certain that I felt it in the first place. I was very uncertain with my emotional state before you joined the party. I'm still not exactly used to it, but it was very different.
It also didn't help that he was being sent nightmares of murdering the party, and with special focus being given to murdering me by Nidhogg.
Glad that bastard's dead as he sort of spits on the ground.
Fair. Very fair. Not very conventional, but
Not in the slightest.
I guess, if things like, love and stuff and things like that could be explained so easily as to be put into a normal guide, it would just lose its fun, I guess.
I hope you weren't going into that looking for actual advice.
No, why would I be looking for advice? Crazy over here.
There is nothing to glean about normal relationships from our relationship. He's going to snap his book closed, kind of put it down into his bag. Zeus, I understand feeling attraction in tense times. I'm sure you're certain that I'm going to say this isn't the time for that. But more than that, I understand that it doesn't matter whether or not it's the time for it. That's not how emotions work. So, what I'm going to say to you is, I am uncomfortably good at getting people to like me. And if you would like, I could help you if you would like, if that is truly what you desire. But I want it to go through your head exactly the situation that we are in right now, how we travel, the consistency upon which we can see people, and whether or not you would be comfortable taking a person away from their family.
3 things. First of all, who did this crazy guy thinking like he knows me or something like that? Second of all, of course I want to hear more about you and your ideas. When have I showed not? And 3, as a point of settling you down, light flirtation. All right, I'm not going crazy here. All right, not
I would not
taking
know.
anybody away from anything.
I would not be able to tell you. Not right now, at least.
Listen,
Actually, one moment. If there is one thing you can glean from this, and Lork gestures to himself and Darius, taking the time to know someone else, to properly know and understand them, is key.
there are a few that I think know me better than Lorik, with the one exception I think would be hate, but I think at this point with what we've gone through, that might not even be true anymore.
And similarly, just about nobody knows me better than Darius.
And my only exception is from exigent circumstances, from trauma. So, listen, we're talking serious. You're not looking for serious.
Yes,
Right.
I mean, I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you. Let's have a great big dinner with those. He's going to kind of lean in. I mean, come on, guys. 2-headed deer. Come on now. Somebody's just trying to show off.
It's a fine deal.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Just have a grand old time.
Darius is gonna put his hand on Zeus's shoulder.
Yes.
He's gonna take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Fleeting gaze. Don't keep your eyes on them for too long. Make it seem like you're interested, but not too deep into it. I want you to, if you want to get their, maintain their attention, speak in ways that follow their interest and try and make them laugh. If they're interested in you, they're going to laugh at whatever the hell you say. Those are my 2 biggest pointers. How you structure your gaze and posture, and how you approach them in conversation. Light, general conversations, touch briefly on sometimes how they look. Try and notice things about them that they might put work into that other people might not notice. Things like how they've set up their hair, if you want to compliment a warrior, compliment the calluses on their fingers, that kind of thing. Notice things that other people don't notice. That's how you catch people's attention. I'm not telling you anymore. Work on the rest yourself.
Ooh. Oh, appreciate it.
It is imparted.
That does remind me, laddie. There is one bit of pieces of information that good old Darius managed to elucidate. Gorals. When you're funny, it helps that, you're funny and they'll laugh at your stuff because you're funny. But a good way to know if they are just, laughing at you because they're interested, tell a joke that ain't funny. If they laugh, maybe they're just laughing to be nice. If they're trying to be nice to you, well, that can only be one.
I did once hear a person I talked to say that I was trying to get information from him for other stuff, but you got to do the whole charade. He was like, you can really never know until you ask or something like that, and even then you can't know, because what if they're just being nice? What if they take you back to their tavern, etc., etc. Maybe it's just their local culture. I don't know. That guy.
You
I
think
don't
too
know.
much. He thinks too much.
That's
He
what
thinks
I'm
too
saying.
much.
You think too much for thinking about him.
eye-opening.
At its core, none of this is something you think about. It's all intuitive. You feel it around. I can identify what it is, but when it comes to it, I'm not thinking about it. It's just intuitive.
Whoa there, Darius. TMI, you just feel around for it? Alright, guys, let's eat some dinner.
And with that, unless
Ah.
there is objection. Nope.
Nope.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Were you gonna
That's
say
one of
something,
those
Chad?
funny joke Drifter was talking about.
And with that, the party eats some nice venison. It is yummy.
Yummy.
It is technically barely charred, so I think it's technically not venison, but nonetheless. They set up an extra temporary makeshift yurt, and while the 8 of them sleep in 2, the 5 of you have 2 tents to use, and you get some good old sleep, and with it, you will awake with shiny new objects, be them physical or as memories. But either way, that's a thing for next week. Hopefully we all get to be here right and proper next Sunday. And I will be extra prepared for it because I think we are about to have some very spicy sessions.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And with that, I wish you all farewell. Goodbye.
So long, gay baby.
Bye.
I'm not a gay baby.